Hey, how we doing? I'm your boy, SOULman. Just sitting here thinking about some things, and recently I was doing some research, and I was thinking about the recent incident that occurred with Moore, Oklahoma, and it seems like Moore, Oklahoma has a history of very, very violent tornadoes, and I was just puzzled by that, and I began to think, and it made me think about some of the incidents that have the natural disasters, which we call natural disasters, but I actually call them unnatural disasters because there's nothing natural about them. When the destruction is so great, you have to understand there's nothing natural about what's taking place. If you understand that the earth is in covenant with God, then you'll understand that when the occupants upon that land is, how would we say, in violation of the laws of God, then they bring judgment upon themselves. So I begin to wonder about the whole Moore, Oklahoma situation. And what popped in my mind was the Trail of Tears. And I said I'm going to do a little bit more research on this because I find it very interesting that during the 1800s, about the beginning of, I think it was about May 26th of 1838 began the forced removal of the Indian tribe, the Native Americans, from the southeastern portion of the United States, which was occupied by the Native American, and they were forced to move. And the route in which they've taken is, to this day, is called the Trail of Tears because so many lost their lives to disease and everything else that by the time they got to the settlement, which the government had considered Indian territory, well, many of them had lost their lives. That area of settlement where they were forced to relocate is currently now called the state of Oklahoma. What's very interesting, the government gave them this portion of land, and then later, when Oklahoma became a state, well, of course, America reneged on their agreement again. So I begin to wonder about the connection with the whole Moore, Oklahoma tragedies that have taken place since 1999, where just some of the most devastating tornadoes have taken place. And it makes me wonder about all the disasters that have occurred in the last couple of years. You know, the Sandy hurricane, of course Katrina, that goes without saying. You know, this country has continually, even after all the unnatural disasters that have occurred, they're continually gravitating and going toward destruction, knowing that the Bible clearly says that if we turn our back upon God, then we will suffer the judgment of doing so. I continue to wonder, how can a nation so blessed, and how can so many well-educated people be so dumb at the same time? You know, it's a no-brainer. We are a nation founded on the principles of God, and yet now, in the 21st century, we want to turn our back on God. We want to kick him out of school, kick him out of government, actually get an attitude if you even want to pray or even mention the name of Christ. Who are we? Who are we today? That we come so far from our destiny, so far from our roots, that we've forgotten we are a Christian nation. But let me say this, I'm going to go ahead and close out. I just wanted to spend a few minutes on this and just make a comment. But I'm going to continue to research some of these unnatural disasters that have taken place because I particularly have a connection with the whole Katrina incident, and I haven't really spoken about it yet, but one day I shall speak about it or write about it, but I will make a comment on it. But there's too many things that are going on in the country right now that no one has connected the dots, and I don't understand. How can we not connect the dots? These are not natural disasters. They are unnatural disasters because they were not meant to be. They were not supposed to happen. But when a nation, when a people continue to turn their back on God, just like the children of Israel, then they will bring judgment of God upon themselves. So don't blame God for the disasters. Don't blame God. Don't blame God. Blame yourself. You continue to defy the law of God. And you continue to say you're going to do what you want to, when you want to, and how you want to, and then you surprise when bad things happen. I'm your boy, SOULman. Look, just wanted to make a comment to those that are listening. I don't really know who's out there. It's not really important. I'm just a messenger. So my job is to deliver the message. Whoever receives it, that's not my business. My job is to just deliver it. God told me, He told us all, open up your mouth. Well, he spoke to the men and the prophets of God. Open up your mouth, and I will give you the words to speak. So you must never have to worry about, when God calls you to preach the gospel, or preach the kingdom, you must never worry about what to say. God will place it on your heart. Just don't open up your mouth. He will put the words there. I'm your boy, Sir the SOULman. Look, I'm going to get on out of here. A lot of work to do, a lot of things to do. There's been quite a few changes. You'll notice them. But remember one thing. We're living in the last days. So, if you're not about the Father's business, then guess what? You're wasting time. Because Jesus is about to make his entrance. And when he makes his entrance, baby, it's not going to be pretty. So, hey, look, I'm out of here. To God be the glory. Remember, like I said before, if I don't see you here, I hope I see you there. To God be the glory. I'm your boy, Sir the SOULman. Peace out. Jesus loves you. And remember, Jesus is Lord. That's me, right here in the studio. See you later.